Welcome back to our next indie horror game, LoopDown. This is our first 2024 release. Not my first video in 2024, obviously. I mean the first game I've uploaded that was released in the new year. This is going to be a strange one, because it both is and is not a looping corridor game. It is, definitely that. But it also has mechanics necessary to its solution that I have not seen in previous looping hallway games. In case I haven't said it 500 times before, and I probably have, I'm a sucker for looping horror games. I've played a lot of them. None of them match PT's level, and none of them ever will. But I find there's a solid 33% chance that it's going to be really good, but still not quite PT. 33% that it's going to fall in the middle, which is most of them. And then 33% that it's going to be, I'd put this one in the middle. Excuse me. I've watched videos of at least 3 people play this game. People seem to be having trouble finding how to actually solve it, because most, if not all, looping corridor games follow the same formula. It's a linear scripted path through a corridor or house that becomes progressively more fucked up and disturbing with each cycle, usually involving some disturbing backstory about some horrific family trauma. But there's no, you just have to follow the path until it ends. If you do that with this one, if you just load into this and just walk, you're never going to finish it, because that won't work with this one. I actually like this one a lot, and it's because it requires a little bit more thought than just following the linear scripted corridor. This one has 2 actual places where you can die, and if you die, the cycle will completely restart from the beginning, and you'll be right back at the start. Now, if that happens, things might happen that didn't happen in the previous cycle before you were killed, because it does randomize what creepy events it uses. But you can't just follow it in a straight line and expect it to end. So, if anybody gives a big fat wrath behind, I'm going to show you how to crack this bitch, because it's actually deceptively more simple than it would appear. So, all it requires is actually paying attention. Which seems to be a problem for a lot of people anymore, but, So, here we go. This one isn't in a straight hallway. It's 2 sets of stairs and 2 sets of stairs, a short little, waiting room type area, or lobby looking thing, and then the door that resets the cycle back to. Also, that's a bug. Some people seem to get a bug where they're not able to turn around. It's happened to me several times. Generally, I can get it to go away just by jiggling the mouse. Sorry if I gave you motion sickness there. Whee! Okay, I'm done. Anyway, so, how do we actually escape this? Well, let's I will show you exactly what to do and what not to do, because one of the death conditions involves you doing something you should definitely not do, and the other one requires you not doing something that you should. So it will take 6 or 7 loops before, you know, the creepy shit actually starts. It does take a minute to really get weird. Now, there are 2 different kinds of creepy things that can happen. Some of them are... I'm just gonna walk while I'm talking here to get the initial boring, uneventful loops out of the way. The first one is just like a random unsettling thing that'll happen and then it's gone. The other one is very specific things that appear that you can focus on for a few seconds and it'll make something unsettling or creepy happen. I don't know if those special trigger appearances are actually important to the progression and the actual escape condition or not, but I know exactly what the real escape condition is, and it is far more simple than it would appear. Like I said, if you just play this and walk in a straight line, you're just going to end up dying over and over and over and over and over again until you pull your hair out, go insane, and shoot all your neighbors because you can't figure it out. This is... So... It just requires a little bit of thought and paying attention, and you'll be fine, really. So... There are some things which appear to happen every single time, but a lot of the events are different across new loops. I also mentioned in the beginning that these typically have some sort of horrific trauma story behind them. This one definitely does, but they're not going to tell you dick squat about what it is. I can guess what it's about. Oh, there's the first one. See, she just stands over there for a second until the lights go out. That'll happen every time. That one's not random. The only thing that's random about that one is how many times it takes for her to actually show up. Sometimes she's there right at the beginning. Sometimes that will also happen every time. That scream behind that door. That door is very, very important, both to your death and not death at the same time. there's the first change, and that is the first, you know, I'm going to call them focus triggers because you'll focus in on them when you go up there and click on it. So up until now, that picture has been a picture of a bunch of creepy Japanese dolls. It has now changed to a close-up of a pregnant woman holding her stomach, and that is also the first big clue about what this story is about. Almost. So it changed to a picture of a close-up of a pregnant woman holding her stomach, and then randomly got covered in blood, and there's a huge knife sticking out of it. I'm going to guess this story, whatever it's supposed to be, has something to do with either a miscarriage or an abortion, or I'm guessing the murder of a pregnant woman, because it's, you know, it's a giant knife and a huge bunch of blood on a picture of a pregnant woman's stomach. And a lot of the weird, fucked up shit that happens in this game will follow that theme. So, yeah. There's your first major event. That door will close. You're going to hear noises that sound like Kayako from The Grudge. Walk over here, stick your face in the crack until that happens. Now, that was the first event somewhat related to actually escaping this shit, because that'll happen every single time. And that the door back to the loop will not reopen until you've looked through that crack long enough to watch that face peek around the curtain. It's the first of 3 major things that have to be paid attention to in order to actually escape out of this building. There's another one. The vending machine will have what appears to be a I'm guessing that's supposed to be a fetus because it's bloody and it's crying. Also covered in roaches, which is fucked up, but these are all things you want to watch for. There's the next one. It's actually happening quicker than it did the last time I did this. Since I figured out the solution. I've done this like 3 or 4 more times to test, you know, what I thought the escape condition was, and it's still working. I don't think the one in the vending machine and that one are really connected. I think they're there just to imply what the traumatic backstory is supposed to be. I think there's only 3 things that are actually, you know, part of the solution. And the first one is, you know, that you have to look in that crack until the face comes around the curtain, or the loop door won't reopen again. Anyhow, walk over here. I think what she said was bastard which would go along with the theme of someone murdering a pregnant woman. And now she's very mad about that. Rightly so. There's another one. Sometimes a figure will appear at the bottom of that stairwell. Just long enough for you to notice it's there, but not long enough to actually see what it is. I have no idea what that is, because I haven't played, I mean, this is the first time I've tried recording this, so I have to play that back and pause it on that frame and see what that actually is, but I can't tell because it's too fast. I'm just waiting on the second major event to happen. I said there was a major thing you have to do and a major thing you have to not do. The one you have to do is initially one that you have to not do. There's one. Sometimes the phone will light up. If you interact with it, it'll just... I don't think any of these focus trigger events are actually related to the escape condition. There it is. That door will eventually open completely. You can stand here in the doorway. Look in there. Creepy ass body bag with a body in it. Huge ass knife sticking out of presumably its stomach. Do not, unless you want to reset the cycle, do not walk in that room right now. Because you will get stabbed in the face by the ghost of an old lady. She will murder the fucking tits off of you if you walk in that room right now. Eventually, you're gonna want to walk in there, but not right now. If you do it now, you're gonna fucking die. So don't do it. Just loop past that shit. The next major thing that happens is the one specifically related to successfully escaping. It's also very obvious when it happens. Sometimes the lights will be off down here. Sometimes not. It's just another creepy thing. That door will stay open, by the way, because it's... Now, there it is. See that patch of blood on the ground? As you can see, everything is now absolutely splashed in fucking blood. We're very, very close to successful escape here. Now, if you just keep walking in a straight line now... There's the old lady. I just got really, really, really unlucky. Normally, when the blood shows up like that on everything, you can loop past it 2 or 3 times before she'll just murder you in the hallway. That time... RNGesus just decided to fuck me in the ass and kill me the first time I walked past it. But, so, now, we get to recreate that condition again. Because, and hopefully see some additional creepy shit on the way. See, it opens that door to try and trick people, because normally people will see that door open and they'll just rush headlong in there to see what creepy thing has just been uncovered. But if you do that, you're gonna die and it'll reset the whole thing. That is the first time I've looped past everything being coated in blood and didn't make it on the first try. Every other time I've done this, I was able to walk past that shit at least 2 or 3 times before she finally got fed up and just killed me. That is also the same death scene that will happen if you walk in that room as soon as it opens up. Right, so just gonna keep, we gotta repeat this now because I need all that. See? Every time. There are other random creepy things that'll happen. I don't know if I've seen them all. I probably haven't, but like sometimes a stuffed bunny will fall from the top floor down to right here. If you interact with it, a child's hand, or what appeared to be a child's hand, it might be the old lady, I don't know, because you won't see any of it but the arm, will reach out from under one of those chairs and grab the bunny and snatch it away underneath the bench. Sometimes the figure of a person will fall all the way from the top past this opening to the bottom. You know, screaming the whole way down, of course. Sometimes that trash can right there will have a giant eyeball looking out of it. That one will make the lights go out completely for a few seconds. And some creepy footsteps around you. This is very subtle, but I don't know if you noticed in that shadow of that woman standing across the way, she has her hands down in a position that suggests she's holding her stomach. It's just another thing to suggest that this story is about some sort of pregnancy trauma. Or presumably the murder of a pregnant woman. So, when you come out of the loop reset and you see that blood at the bottom of the initial stairwell, just in case you're about to get fucked by RNGesus, I'm gonna show you. You know, don't loop past it. Just in case it decides to kill you on the first try, and you don't have to do. It probably won't. Like I said, that's the first time I've not done the thing. It's a very specific thing I should have done right then, and got killed the first time. Usually it takes a couple. I mean, you can... You could risk walking past it a couple times if you want. But if you're actually aiming to finish this, I wouldn't. Just in case you get really unlucky like I just did. Yeah, there's that too. That's the same woman that was standing over across in the other building, because she had her arms down in the same way. There's another thing we didn't get the first time. Is a photograph on the brick wall outside that window. That's never happened before. That's a new one. I've never seen that one. Usually it's just that picture on the outside of that wall that looks like an ultrasound. I've never had her pop up in front of that window before, though. See, that's what makes me think there's still shit in this game that I haven't seen, because that was a brand new one to me. There's the eyeball in the trash can. Also, the phone is on now. Okay. This is weird, because the door actually didn't open down there first. Alright, hopefully it opens after we do the thing right here that we need to do. Do not, once everything's coated in blood, don't walk down that stairway, because this door will close and you won't be able to do the thing I'm about to tell you to do, which is directly connected to getting out of this nonsense. And it's actually tricky, because it's not a thing normally people would do. Normally people come out of the loop and, you know, head straight down the stairs into the next cycle. But what you actually need to do is turn around and look back up the steps. Wouldn't be natural for that to occur to people. But focusing on that which I also assume is a fetus, is directly connected to your escape. So once the blood is down there, that will be in the initial stairway. Walk up there. Get that to happen. Okay, it opened the door anyway. That's good. Usually that door opens a couple cycles before the blood shows up. Sometimes it's the next one. But now that everything's coated in blood, and now that there's, you know, presumably a fetus on that body bag in the middle, that room is safe now. You can walk in there. You will not die. So go in there. Only after this happens. That'll happen. You'll pull the knife out. Fetus will disappear. We're about to escape. Because on the next cycle, Yahtzee, you're outside. One last thing though. You didn't actually make it, because that happened. This guy turns into a giant fetus, and smash cut to the title screen. I don't know what that ending means, but according to the Steam page, there's only one ending, so that's how that has to end. There is no technical successful escape. I assume that you got killed by a giant sky abortion up there, but that's the escape condition. If that door opens before everything is splashed in blood, don't walk in there. Once everything is covered in blood, turn around, look back up the stairway, focus on the fetus that's hanging up there in the corner, and then you can walk into that lower room without getting shanked in the face by the ghost of the woman. And then the next trip through the ending door will take you outside to be killed by a giant sky fetus up there. But that's how you finish that. It's like I said, deceptively simple. It would not occur to most people to turn around and look back where they came from, especially in, you know, a game type whose main mechanic is to move forward. But yeah, that's how you do it. Just pay attention. I will admit to you that I figured that out by accident. I did it last night. I had been killed by that old woman 5 times in one session. I was about to snatch myself bald, and I stopped in front of the crib that's at the beginning, and was just randomly spinning my mouse in circles, and happened to notice that thing was in the exit stairwell. So, you know, I went up there, and then obviously that led into the discovery of the lower room being safe. Because when I got back down there and noticed there was a fetus in that room where there wasn't before, I was like, well, maybe we can walk in there and not get murderized now, and that's what happened. And then we were outside. But yeah, that's how you do it. You can keep looping on purpose just to see if you see more creepy stuff, but that's how you finish it, if that's your goal. So, thank you for watching LoopDown. The link for that will be in the description if you want to play it for yourself. Thank you for watching again, and we'll see you in the next game.